Hi, and welcome to Kidney Plugged In. November is Diabetes Month, and diabetes is the leading cause of kidney disease. So we'll share with you important facts about how diabetes has a direct impact on kidney function. And we'll introduce you to Jodi from Whitehorse in the Yukon. Jodi has been living with diabetic kidney disease since childhood. And on this episode, Jodi talks about her lifelong journey with these two chronic illnesses. Jodi is currently on home hemodialysis, and she shares with us candid insights on what life is like as a home hemodialysis patient. And because diabetes is just one of the risk factors impacting your kidney health, on our Did You Know segment, we'll share with you what you need to know about these other risk factors. So stay with us, because you'll meet Jodi next, right here on Kidney Plugged In.
Diabetes is the leading cause of kidney disease. So today we're speaking with Jodi from Whitehorse in the Yukon, who's been living with kidney disease and diabetes for 20 years now. Thank you so much for joining Plugged In, Jodi, to share your experience on living with two chronic illnesses.
Thank you for having me.
So Jodi, if you could take us back to the beginning of your journey, when and how were you first diagnosed with diabetes, and when did you learn about your kidney condition?
When I was first diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, I was 7 years old.
Wow.
So pre-diabetes life, I don't honestly remember, but I do remember the holidays. My sister would get the chocolate rabbits for Easter, and I would get a 5-pack of Trident gum. Yippee!
Oh no.
And then I found out probably in 2005 that my kidneys were starting to fail. I'd had a heart attack due to so many years of diabetes that they discovered my blood pressure went sky high and discovered that it was my kidneys that were starting to fail. So we just paid a little closer attention to what the numbers were and watched them as it went on. So I knew about it, but nothing really to prevent it because it was going to happen. It was just when it would happen.
Yeah. And do you remember when it happened in 2005, how you felt?
I think the heart attack kind of took over the kidney problem because I was more worried about my heart than my kidneys. I don't honestly remember if it made me feel any different, really.
Yeah. Do you remember when you were 7?
Not a lot. I remember being in the hospital at 7 and them coming in, the nurses coming in with a syringe of insulin, obviously, and the little girl beside me was 2. And I didn't really understand what was going on, so I'm sure she had no idea what was going on. And she screamed a lot. I don't remember screaming, but I do remember, and I think it's maybe a tale from my childhood days, going to the doctor's office with my mom, and the doctor feeling my glands and telling my mom, she's got diabetes, there'll be a bed waiting. But I remember sleeping a lot, drinking a lot, going pee a lot. And I made my dad carry me through the mall before my doctor's appointment because I was scared my pants were gonna fall off. But other than that, I don't know. I don't really remember. A long time ago.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing though. And thinking back now, what were the early symptoms that made you suspect that you might have kidney issues?
I think my blood pressure slowly started to go up, so they tried medication and that wasn't helping. And then I do recall here in Whitehorse at the hospital that I think they put me in ICU because my blood pressure was like 140 something over 200 and some. And they were trying to give me IV medication at the time. And at that time back then, you could still pick whether you wanted to go to Vancouver or Edmonton for healthcare.
Right.
So we picked Edmonton because it was closer for family to come from Saskatchewan. And so they medevaced me out. And that's, I think, when I honestly found out that my kidneys were failing and we needed to watch closer and control the blood pressure. The big thing was the blood pressure, control the blood pressure.
Yeah. And speaking of blood pressure and trying to control those symptoms that can lead to kidney disease, what other things did you do in terms of lifestyle to help that?
I think the biggest thing was omit the salt. Like I've never been a salt eater, but I can sit down every now and then and eat a chip and eat the whole damn bag. You just gotta limit that, and I've never cooked with salt so for that, it wasn't a big thing. It was the soaking of the potatoes for potassium and stuff, soaking your potatoes. And to me, soaking the potassium out kind of took the flavor out of your potatoes.
When I was on dialysis, on my restricted diet, I wasn't allowed to eat potatoes. So I found a way to eat potatoes. If you twice boil them, then it's totally fine.
So twice boiling them reduces the potassium by 50%, which is pretty remarkable, at least. So you get to enjoy potatoes as often as you like when you double boil them, right?
Yeah.
And you soak the potatoes a little bit as well. Apparently that stops them from going brown, I understand. I learned that today.
Yeah, also helps start the leaching process. So mainly what we want to do is leach out all the potassium. And a bonus is that it takes out a lot of starch, so makes it even more healthier.
But I mean, I still watch the salt. I always look at a label. So I mean, I do still pay attention to all that, even though dialysis pulls some of it off. But it's always been in the back of my head to watch for these things. I'm just not a salt eater, so I don't think it was.
That's fair.
I use Mrs. Dash because there's no salt in that, and I found other Epicure has a lot of no salt added spices, so I don't know. I wasn't a radish and salt eater like my husband is. It just makes me sick when he eats a radish and dumps salt on it.
Very French. Oh, how French. Oh la la.
Hi, I'm Joshi, and welcome to Did You Know? Did you know November is National Diabetes Month? This is a time when communities across the country team up to bring attention to diabetes. But did you know that there is a link between diabetes and kidney disease? Diabetes, in fact, is the leading cause of kidney disease. So how does diabetes affect the kidneys? Diabetes damages the blood vessels. High blood sugar clogs all the blood vessels, including the filters of the kidneys. This may contribute to decreased kidney function. Diabetes does damage to nerves and infections. High blood sugars can also damage the nerves that tell you when your bladder is full. A full bladder can cause the urine to back up into the kidneys and cause further damage to kidney filters. Also, those with diabetes may have a high content of sugar in their urine. This can encourage the growth of bacteria and kidney infections may occur. If you have diabetes, did you know there are ways to support your kidney health? And these include talking with your doctor or nurse about what your target blood sugar levels should be and when and how often you need to check it. Testing your blood sugar as often as directed by your healthcare team to ensure you have control over your blood sugars. Maintain a healthy lifestyle and weight. Visit the Kidney Wellness Hub at kidneywellnesshub.ca for important tips and information to help achieve your goals. Control your cholesterol through proper food choices, and if you're on medications, make sure you take it as directed by your doctor. Manage your blood pressure. High blood pressure is the second leading cause of kidney disease, but having kidney disease can also cause high blood pressure. Take special care to have infections treated immediately. Please, please don't smoke. And make sure to have your kidney function tested annually with an eGFR test. And now, you know.
Jodi, managing two chronic conditions, which is diabetes and kidney disease, isn't easy at all. What daily challenges do you face in balancing your diabetes management with your kidney condition? And can you share any tips?
I would say probably the hardest thing is processed food. It's not always quick to find something to eat when you're hungry, and like watching your processed food because of all the extras added to it.
Totally, very true. And what about eating out? Do you eat out often? And when you do, what things do you do to mitigate that?
Not a lot. So I guess in my head, I justify it as it's not that often. So maybe once in a while is okay. But I I do order, if we go to McDonald's or somewhere, I do order fries no salt to omit the salt, a little less salt. This doesn't mean they're salt free, but I don't know, we just don't, nobody can afford to eat out. Can't even afford to buy groceries much anymore either, but yeah, I just try to, the salt is the big one because I know how quick my blood pressure can spike. So that one I really watch. I know when I've got a blood pressure headache as compared to just a headache. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you're currently on home hemodialysis. So for anyone who doesn't know what home hemo is, could you please explain the treatment and the process that you go through?
I have what they call a perm catheter in my right chest, like right here is where it goes in to my chest, and you set up the machine. You get a bag, a dialysate bag, as opposed to a jug that they put on the AK machine in the hospitals. There's a bag that you put in the machine, you hook up all the tubes, and it gives you step-by-step directions on the machine as to what the next step is, and it puts water, probably 54 liters of water, into the bag and mixes it. You create that the night before because that batch takes 7.5 hours to create with the next stage machine that I've got. You put the lines in, it takes about an hour to set up. You're hooked up for roughly 4 hours, 15 minutes, and it's about an hour to drain the bag at the end and clean everything up. So my husband and I team up pretty good together. He usually, on the days I work, usually he's done work at 3:30, so he goes home, sets the machine up, comes and gets me and takes me home, and I hook up.
So
and
nice,
it definitely makes a difference as opposed to finishing work, going home, setting the machine up, then hooking up, then finishing it's midnight. There's no time to sleep really, and I refuse to give up my work because that takes the distraction away from everything else. Seems like I do dialysis 7 days a week almost some weeks.
Yeah.
It just bothers me, that part, but that's okay. I can do it at home.
So home dialysis is often the preferred treatment for kidney disease. What are some of the benefits or positives about home hemodialysis?
For me, I'm pretty good at procrastinating, but I know the time comes when I absolutely have to do it. I know my body, but you can work around a schedule. Like, I'm supposed to do it 3 to 4 times a week, but I can push that. 2 days in between is the maximum that I can do with a break. But then that 3rd day, I have to do dialysis. I know that for my body, but I also know that that's as much as I can take without dialysis. For me, that's a positive though as well, because if I've got something on Wednesday night and supposed to do dialysis Wednesday night, well, if I've only had Tuesday off and just did dialysis Monday, I can go till Thursday then and do my activity Wednesday. That's what I like about it. I can control when I do it. Whereas if I was situated in a hospital scene, if I'm scheduled at 5:30, 5:30 is when I go. I enjoy it at home because my cats can come and sit on my lap. And I can watch TV at my own volume, not volume so nobody else hears me.
Yeah, exactly. So then I have a question about traveling on dialysis. Is that something that you can do, and how easy is it?
Well, this isn't my first rodeo on home hemo. I did that in 2013 to 2015 as well. And back then my training nurse in Vancouver, Mary Lewis, set up everything when I traveled at another depot at the hospital. Last summer, I traveled to Saskatchewan for my niece's wedding for 6 weeks. And I phoned Regina General Hospital and set up everything to go 3 times a week. They asked me what my schedule was. I said, well, Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evenings. She said, okay, then we'll keep it Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the evenings. And that's what they did. They got the information for potassium levels and all that stuff with the machine and blood flow and stuff and the machine from Vancouver. But yeah, everything I set up and did myself, and it worked out great. I was there for 6 weeks. My husband's already looked at cruise ships too that do hemodialysis.
Wow. I did not know that.
There was 3 or 4 that did.
Wow.
But yeah, it was interesting to find out that there was some cruise ships with hemodialysis
That
units.
really is. Wow. Okay.
Please leave me a message and I'll get back to you.
Hey, it's Alex. Sorry to call so late. I just wanted to say... I can't believe it's been almost 20 years since we met. My whole life has changed. Whenever I felt alone, you were there for me. When I didn't know what was ahead of me, and honestly, after all these years, I still don't. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I couldn't have done it without the Kidney Foundation. And now, I need you more than ever.
So Jodi, no doubt there have been some lifestyle changes that you've had to make living with diabetic kidney disease. Can you talk more about some of these lifestyle changes, things that you've changed over the years?
My husband and I also coach Special Olympic soccer, and I used to partake a lot more, whereas now I just don't have the physical energy to. Yeah. I'm tired. I can sleep easily all weekend, but somewhere in there I've got to fit a dialysis run in. But I can, once I'm hooked up, I can sleep through that too, so that's okay too. But I think that's the biggest thing, is I just don't have the energy to do much. Mm-hmm. But other than like nutrition, we've talked about that. I still watch the salt, I watch the potassium. Yeah. They tell me my numbers from Vancouver, and then I watch either eat more potassium, eat more bananas, or less, cut them out. So it's a hit or a miss. I've learned to adapt maybe more than anything to some things, but it's the energy level I don't like, because I used to play in the games that we had, and I just don't have the energy so much. Yeah. And if somebody sees me play, are you sure you should be playing? So, well, I can still move, so yeah, I can play.
Exactly.
But if I go off to the side, then just leave me go off to the side.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you're so right that I think people with chronic illnesses, we're so good at adapting. So have you had to make any significant lifestyle changes to manage both diabetes and kidney health? Things like exercise, if you have the energy for it, or other daily routines?
I don't think so. I don't think I've really changed anything majorly. Mm-hmm. Other than that, like I said, everybody's asked, well, are you okay if you're not playing soccer? Yeah, I'm okay. I still walk downtown and stuff. Yeah. Maybe not right now with all the snow on the ground, but I do. I mean, once a week we go to the bank, and I usually walk to the bank. So it's, you learn to adapt. Like I said, you have to.
Hey, honey, I lost the list for Jason's birthday thing. Obviously, hamburger, cakes. No, not hamburger cakes. Hamburgers and cake. And buns, sausage.
Talking. Ooh, eye candy.
Is it a full moon tonight? People are being weird. And don't forget to make the Facebook event private this time. Okay, bye.
Can you imagine losing most of something without realizing it? Over time, kidney disease can destroy up to 80% of kidney function before you notice any symptoms. Talk to your family doctor to see if you're at risk and need to be screened. It could save your life.
So going on to support and emotional impact, how has the diagnosis affected your mental and emotional well-being, and how do you deal with these challenges that you face?
I have cats. My cat is, I think you could probably call her my support animal.
Oh.
Because I rub her pads on her feet, and she knows when I'm down because she comes and sits beside me and then starts to purr. And that purring sound just totally relaxes me or whatever. I have a husband too who's a very good support. He's been great.
Yeah. It's always important to have someone like that in your life. Yeah.
And he's a very good advocate. Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. There will be probably more tears, just letting you know. I'm a crier. You need somebody to cry at a funeral or a wedding, I'm there.
Your husband sounds great. Such a gem.
He's very good. Like, I have a continuous glucose monitoring system that talks to my pump.
Mm.
And there was a time about 2.5 months ago where I didn't have a sensor to put on. And I dropped low and he wasn't feeling good, so he was sleeping on the couch because he didn't want to get me sick.
Mm.
And my alarm went off in the morning to get up for work, and I wasn't coming out of the bedroom, so he came to look at me and he found me belly down on the floor beside the bed. And as I fell out of the bed, I'd hit my head on the nightstand as I went down, and I was unconscious, unresponsive. And he slept in the bed ever since, whether he's sick or not.
Oh.
But he felt awful, like he thought it was his fault.
Oh.
But yeah, he's definitely a good support. Because I think 6 months after we'd started seeing each other, almost 30 years ago, I was in ICU in Regina with a kidney infection, and he drove clear across town in Regina just to see me for 5 minutes after they'd given me a shot of morphine for pain, and I went to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he went back to work. So I knew then he was a keeper.
What a
and
gem.
He's been beside me ever since.
All green flags.
I don't know how, but he is.
Well, that's lovely to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you know, Jodi, the Kidney Foundation has created a very unique online platform, the Kidney Wellness Hub, to support the physical, mental and social well-being of kidney patients like you, like me, care partners like our husbands and living donors. So I know it's something that you've checked out, and what are your initial thoughts on it?
I think there's a lot of good tips and supports, links and stuff on there. I do get all the emails and I do actually scan them over. I think it's a great support, and when we had that kidney community thing here in Whitehorse last week, I think that's great, because I forgot that some of my friends are diabetics or even have kidney disease up here. I totally forget to check in on them, and I've got them on Facebook, but like I said, life gets busy and it's not a priority, and it probably should be more of a priority because I'm living with that too. So definitely gonna look a little deeper into that.
Yeah, great.
Did you know your lifestyle choices can significantly impact your kidney health? Staying hydrated, eating a balanced diet that's low in salt, maintaining a healthy weight, and moving regularly can all help protect your kidneys. Small changes in daily habits can make a big difference in keeping your kidneys functioning well. The Kidney Foundation, in partnership with the BC government, has created a unique and complementary online platform to help support the physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being to help you protect your kidney health. We have designed and customized this content with your kidneys in mind. The Kidney Foundation's Kidney Wellness Hub is a free online platform with tons of great tools. interactive resources, and videos, all to help you stay active. Eat well, boost your mental well-being, plus opportunities to get connected and stay social. Don't miss our cooking classes, our new Walking to Wellness series, and our wellness coaching to support you to make those positive lifestyle changes and stick to them, and so much more. Join today and receive a free journal. And now, you know.
So Jodi, do you have any final thoughts or words of wisdom to share with someone who is just beginning their journey as a diabetic kidney patient?
Don't be scared to ask for help and support. Because Carmen Kmish, she's been a big supporter of mine as well since the first kidney walk in 2015 up here.
I think that's really important, what you just mentioned, to ask for help, because there are people out there who want to help, and like Carmen, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Carmen's a big help.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Jodi, for sharing your journey with us on Kidney Plugged In. We really appreciate your time and how open you've been with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Words of advice for newly diagnosed and those who have already started this journey of chronic illness or kidney disease is to not let your diagnosis define who you are as a person. You are not just a patient, you are a 3D person, you are a human being. Your diagnosis does not define your personality. Chronic illness is not a personality type, as I like to say. You can be a 3D person and you can have chronic illness. It is a part of you, of course, but it does not define who you are.